Testing 1, 2. Hey, I've got my DJ voice on. Hey, hello everybody. It's Joe Ditzel on Saturday, October 1st, 2016 in Columbus, Ohio. Hey, come along with me on this bike ride as I ramble on incoherently about college football. And I totally understand if that does not interest you at all, because it's going to be sort of a looping ramble, which makes no sense. So if you want to come back for another vlog, I totally understand. We'll see you on the flip-flop. If you're still here, I was able to get on my bike after the Ohio State game. Now, I actually had to work through the whole game, so I didn't catch a lot of the big plays, but it was supposed to rain. One of the local sportscasters here in Columbus said it was going to potentially rain in the fourth quarter and after the game, but those clouds rerouted themselves. They must be Ohio State fans because they went around the Columbus area, and it was a beautiful fall day of 67 degrees, nice and cool. So I jumped on my bike, and here we are. So let's just look at some of the things that have happened today in college football. College football. Well, since we are rolling around the Ohio State campus after the game in this video, these random shots, let's start there. Of course, as you probably expected, the Ohio State Buckeyes, currently ranked number 2 in the nation behind Alabama, beat the Rutgers Scarlet Knights 58-0. 58-0. Which brings up the question, how did Alabama fare? And Alabama beat Kentucky. Kentucky, really better known for basketball, but anyway, beat Kentucky 34-6. That puts Alabama at 5-0 and Kentucky at 2-3. So now this is interesting because did you know that the Rutgers Scarlet Knights played in the very first college football game ever? Yeah. They beat Princeton 6-4 in 1869, regarded as the very first college football game ever in 1869. Now, from what I read, it didn't resemble what we know as college football. They said it was actually more like soccer in those days because they didn't know what they were doing. They were making up the sport as they went, and what you see today developed over many years. But I mean, they beat them 6-4. Who knows? Maybe every touchdown was 1 point. They didn't know. They knew. They didn't know anything. They were just making it up, and it evolved. It evolved from other games. So I don't know how they actually scored. What was a touchdown 6 points, and etc. Who knows? It's lost in the mists of time, or we would have to actually talk to somebody that knows what happened then. But this is a fascinating story to me because that was the very first college football game ever. But now, 3 years earlier, in 1866, in the very first organized sport game of any kind at Rutgers, was a baseball game. Very first organized collegiate sport at that campus. And they also played Princeton. Princeton prevailed in that baseball game 40-2. 40-2. Now maybe baseball was also being developed at that time, and perhaps, I'm just making this up, perhaps they had interesting rules, like after a batter hits the ball infield, he begins to run toward first, and is joined by 3 teammates. They run together as a squad, and they all have to, tag up 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the only way that I can imagine that they got 40 points in one baseball game. Is that the players ran around the bases in a squadron, and therefore when they made it home, they the runs added up quick. Boom, 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 boom. And who knows? Maybe Rutgers were so humiliated. What's the word? Humiliated by this drubbing by Princeton, the Princeton Tigers, the Tigers. So maybe they got together and they said, "Look, this football thing is starting to develop here on the East Coast of the United States. We should play in an organized game. And what we'll do is we'll go to Princeton and they'll say, look, football is becoming popular. Let's play in the very first collegiate football game ever, and it'll be fun." But what they won't tell them is that they practiced for 2 months before the game. Now, this is probably what happened. In order to get back at Princeton, they said, we're going to plan and practice and drill. We're going to have 2-a-days. We're going to hit those sleds. They probably invented the first sled. And then on that day, Princeton had no idea what was going on. They didn't realize that they were up against a football machine. So in that game, Rutgers had, the Gatorade. They had the big fans to keep the players cool. They had full-on helmets, and Princeton has shown up in their Princeton sweater. So Rutgers probably scammed Princeton in order to get back at them for their embarrassment on the baseball diamond 3 years earlier, and they beat Princeton 6-4 in 1869. Ohio State Buckeyes won. So let's look at our Ohio University. That's where I went to school, okay? A much better school, all right? Ohio University won over arch rival Miami Redhawks. All right. What was the final score of that game? 17-7. I think that's what I was going to say, but I wanted to make sure. Here's the thing. After that game, the Bobcats went to 3-2. The Ohio University Bobcats and the Redhawks of Miami of Ohio dropped to 0-5. So that could be a good reason they lost. They were 0-4 coming into the game. It just might not be the year for the Redhawks, and a boo-hoo. That is a long-time rivalry. Ohio University was the first university in the Northwest Territory back in the day. It was established in 1804. And Miami is also an old school of some kind. I think they came like 50 years later or whatever. Well, let's find out. Hey, since I'm ragging on them. Actually, I think it was pretty close. I'm going to take a guess. I'm going to take a guess on this. I think Miami University was established in 1809. This is my guess. Now, let's see what happens. Their mascot is named Swoop. Swoop the Red Hawk? Oh, man, that doesn't even sound right, does it? Wow, they have pretty good grades at this school. Grades? Let's see. Founded in 1809. Hey, man, I'm old, but some things I lock on. So, Ohio University was ahead of them then and have been ahead of them ever since. Ever since Miami University's been trying to catch up. Wow, it was the 10th oldest public university in the United States and the second oldest university in Ohio. Did you hear that word? Second. This is from Wikipedia, that source of scholarly research. Yeah, did you hear that word second? That means we were first. Ohio State, I'm surprised. I'm surprised Ohio State was established later. You know what I mean? Because it's a bigger town, I would have thought they would have been I think, well, since we're talking about it, let's find out. Ohio State University. Founding. Founded in 1870. Oh. In 1878, they changed their name to the Ohio State University. The. Well, now, see, they surpassed many universities in size because now they're their third largest university campus in the United States. And it is huge, man. If you ever go over there, I mean, it's ginormous. But still, much later than Miami and Ohio University. Back to football. Didn't I say that's what we'd be rambling about today? Let's just look at a few other scores before we check out of this. Alabama, man. Golly. Oh, by the way, before we check out of this vlog, I wanted to mention one other play I saw. This is incredible. So, Michigan beat Wisconsin 14-7. Okay, but when I tuned in the game, I just saw a little bit of it. It was like 2.5 minutes left, right? So Michigan was ahead 14-7, and Wisconsin was coming out of deep in their own zone and went for a long pass. So a Michigan defensive back named Jordan Lewis, Jordan Jourdan Lewis. So what he does is he leaps as high as he can in the air to make a interception. He catches the ball, makes the interception with one hand. One hand, he catches the ball, and he pulls it into his body and retains possession. We've all seen many one-handed receptions where they're not able to control it, right? And it ends up just being a incomplete pass. No. I mean, the guy has the vertical leap of a NBA player. He goes up, reaches for the sky, and catches it with one hand. I mean, I don't know how he did it. So I don't know how he knew at the perfect time to go up for because it didn't look like he was going up to like bat the ball, like to make a desperate batting move. It looked like he was going up for the interception. Or he decided in the air, like, I got it. You know what I mean? It was such a smooth move that it looked like he was deliberately going for the interception. I don't know. I'm just going by what I saw. I didn't even see the replay. But let's call that the play of the week. And I mean, it was just, that is why somebody like me watches football. I don't know every player. I don't know everything. But the excitement of the game, those kind of plays you just don't get in a lot of sports. And denied Wisconsin possession in the last 2.5 minutes. And so, or at least I had to leave, so I don't know what transpired after that. Maybe Wisconsin got the ball back and wasn't able to convert. But anyway, Michigan took possession at that point, and certainly the spirits of the Badgers were diminished after that play. It was just unbelievable. So congratulations to you, Jordan Lewis, on a unbelievable interception with one hand. So, let's cut it there because I'm just rambling on, man. I'm ramble. So let's say, I hope all is good in your world. And how's everything going? Did you ever date somebody like that? You say to her, hey, let's go get a pizza. All right. What about, how about we just get some burgers and fries, right? Watch TV. Eh. Hey, you want to go out to a movie? You want to go out? Let's go out on the town. Eh. My lord. All right. We'll see you next time.